Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. You know that feeling when you're about to punish a child and suddenly realize, wait, am I actually teaching them anything here? Today, we're diving into a revolutionary approach to discipline that's changing how we raise responsible, empathetic kids. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why punishment might be doing more harm than good, and learn practical strategies for teaching responsibility without the power struggles.
And this isn't just about being nice, it's about being effective. Research consistently shows that punishment, while it might work in the moment, actually leads to more negative behavior in the long run.
Wait, really? That seems counterintuitive. Can you explain that?
According to Psychology Today, punishment teaches through fear, threats, and pain, while discipline teaches through modeling, feedback, and coaching. The difference in outcomes is striking.
So we're basically talking about two completely different approaches here.
Exactly. And here's what's fascinating. The word discipline actually means to teach, while punishment means to correct or cause pain. That etymology tells us a lot about the fundamental difference in approach.
That's really interesting. So what does positive discipline look like in practice?
Well, positive discipline focuses on teaching long-term skills rather than just stopping behavior in the moment. It's about helping children understand the impact of their actions and develop self-control.
You know, it reminds me of how workplace management has evolved. We used to have these really authoritarian bosses, and now we're seeing more collaborative approaches.
That's a great parallel. And just like in the workplace, research shows that a more supportive approach leads to better outcomes. Children raised with positive discipline tend to develop stronger social skills and emotional resilience.
But I can hear some parents thinking, isn't this just being too soft?
Actually, that's a common misconception. Positive discipline is both kind and firm. It's not permissive at all, it just approaches boundaries differently.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Instead of punishing a teen for poor school attendance, research suggests rewarding them for attending 8 days in a 2-week period with an extended curfew. It's working with their natural motivations rather than against them.
That makes a lot of sense, focusing on the positive rather than the negative.
You know what's really interesting? This approach actually aligns perfectly with what we know about the teenage brain. Research shows teens are more motivated by short-term positive rewards than by the threat of long-term punishment.
That's fascinating. It's like we've been swimming upstream all this time.
Exactly. And here's something that might surprise people. In Montessori education, which has been around for over a century, they've always used this approach. They focus on guiding behavior with respect and intention rather than control.
Really? Tell me more about that connection.
Well, both Montessori and positive discipline share this core belief that children are naturally inclined to learn and develop appropriately when given the right environment and support.
That's such a different mindset from the traditional kids need to be controlled approach.
And research supports this. Studies show that children who experience positive discipline develop better self-control and problem-solving skills compared to those who experience punitive approaches.
But what about when kids really misbehave? There must be consequences, right?
Absolutely, but here's the key difference. Positive discipline looks at the goal behind the behavior. All behavior has a purpose, whether conscious or unconscious.
So instead of just reacting to the behavior, you're trying to understand what's causing it?
Exactly. And once you understand the underlying cause, you can address the real issue rather than just the symptom.
You know, it's kind of like how our view of money changes over time. Like that Austin Powers joke where Dr. Evil demands $1 million and everyone laughs because it's not that much anymore.
That's an interesting parallel. Our understanding of discipline is evolving just like our perspective on other things. What seemed normal a generation ago might seem outdated now.
So what are some practical strategies parents can use?
One key strategy is ensuring expectations are developmentally appropriate. Another is modeling the behavior you want to see, including emotion regulation.
That makes sense. What else?
Creating clear boundaries while allowing freedom within those limits. And importantly, focusing on teaching skills rather than enforcing compliance.
But doesn't this take more time and effort than just punishing bad behavior?
Initially, yes, but research shows it leads to better outcomes in the long run. Children develop internal motivation rather than just responding to external controls.
That's really the goal, isn't it? Internal motivation?
Absolutely. We want children to make good choices because they understand why, not because they're afraid of punishment.
What about consistency between home and school? That must be important.
It is, and that's why many schools are now adopting positive discipline approaches. Research shows this consistency helps children develop better social emotional skills.
Are schools seeing better results with this approach?
Yes, studies show that schools using positive discipline approaches see reduced behavioral issues and improved academic outcomes.
That's impressive. What about at home?
Similar results. Families report stronger relationships, better communication, and fewer power struggles when using positive discipline techniques.
But it must take time to see these results, right?
Yes, it's not a quick fix. It's about building skills and understanding over time. But the long-term benefits are well worth the initial investment.
What are some common mistakes people make when trying to implement this approach?
One big one is assuming children know what to do. We need to actively teach skills, not just expect them to know.
That makes sense. What else?
Inconsistency is another common issue. And giving freedom without structure, remember, positive discipline is about freedom within limits.
How do you maintain those limits without reverting to punishment?
By focusing on natural consequences and problem solving together. It's about guidance rather than control.
Can you give an example of natural consequences?
If a child doesn't wear a coat, they feel cold. That's a natural consequence. It teaches more effectively than forcing them to wear the coat.
Ah, so they learn from experience rather than authority.
Exactly. And that learning tends to stick better than lessons imposed through punishment.
What about when kids test boundaries? That's inevitable, right?
Absolutely. Testing boundaries is a normal part of development. The key is how we respond to it.
And how should we respond?
With firmness and kindness together. Maintain the boundary while showing understanding of the child's perspective.
That balance seems crucial.
It is. Too much firmness without kindness becomes authoritarian. Too much kindness without firmness becomes permissive.
So it's really about finding that sweet spot in between.
Yes, and research shows that this balanced approach leads to the best outcomes for children's development.
As we wrap up, what's the most important thing for people to remember about positive discipline?
That it's not about being permissive, it's about teaching skills and understanding while maintaining clear boundaries.
And the research really supports this approach?
Absolutely. Study after study shows better outcomes in terms of social skills, emotional regulation, and long-term behavior change.
This has been incredibly enlightening. Any final thoughts?
Remember, the goal isn't perfect behavior, it's helping children develop the skills they need to navigate life successfully.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Co-Pilot Podcasts. Next time you're about to punish a child, pause and ask yourself, am I teaching or am I just trying to control? The answer might change everything. Thanks for listening.